Are you feeling nervous about your next exam? Do you look at your books and feel like you have too much to learn? Well, you are not alone. Many people feel this way every single day.
That is so true, Jade. Preparing for an exam is one of the most stressful things for a student. But it does not have to be a nightmare. If you have a good plan, you can actually feel confident and ready.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Daily English Studio Channel, your destination for daily English learning and conversation. I am Jade.
And I am John. We are so happy you are joining us today. Today, we are talking about a very important topic, preparing for an exam.
This is something that everyone goes through, whether you are in school, at university, or even taking an English test for your job.
Exactly. And before we start our deep conversation today, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us to keep making these lessons for you.
Yes, please subscribe. And if you are studying for an exam right now, leave a comment below and tell us which subject you are studying. We would love to hear from you.
So, Jade, let's start at the beginning. How do you feel when you know you have an exam in 1 week?
Oh, John, I usually feel very panicked. My heart starts to beat fast and I feel like I have forgotten everything I learned in class. I look at my notebook and it looks like a different language.
That is very common. The first thing most people feel is stress. But I think the first step to successful preparation is to stop and breathe.
You are right, but sometimes breathing is not enough. I feel like I have a mountain of books and only a tiny bit of time.
I understand. When I was a student, I felt the same way. But then I learned about the big plan. Do you make a study schedule, Jade?
I try to make a schedule, but I often fail. I write study on my calendar for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But then Monday comes and I just sit there.
Well, maybe your schedule is too general. If you just write study, your brain does not know what to do. You need to be more specific. Instead of study, you should write read chapter 1 and write 5 notes.
Oh, that makes sense. So I should break the big task into small pieces.
Exactly. Small pieces are much easier to finish. When you finish a small task, you feel good. You feel like you are winning.
That's interesting. I think I will try that. So if I have an English exam, I should spend 1 hour on vocabulary, 1 hour on grammar, and maybe 1 hour on listening.
That is a great plan, but don't forget to take breaks. If you study for 3 hours without stopping, your brain will get very tired.
How often should I take a break?
Many people use the Pomodoro technique. Have you heard of it?
No, what is that? Is it a type of food?
Haha, no, it is not a tomato sauce. Pomodoro is the Italian word for tomato, but in studying, it means you study for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break.
Only 25 minutes? That seems very short.
It is short, but it helps you stay focused. During those 25 minutes, you do nothing but study. No phone, no television, no snacks. Then, when the timer rings, you can walk around or drink some water for 5 minutes.
I like that. My problem is my phone. Every time I get a message, I want to check it. Then, 5 minutes of checking messages turns into 30 minutes of watching videos.
We all do that, Jade. The phone is the biggest enemy of studying. When I study, I put my phone in another room.
In another room? That sounds difficult. What if someone calls me?
If it is an emergency, they will call twice. But usually, it can wait 25 minutes. You have to be strong.
You are right, John. I need to be more disciplined. So, after I have my plan and I put my phone away, where should I study? Is it okay to study in bed?
Oh, definitely not. Your bed is for sleeping. If you study in bed, your brain will get confused. It will think, are we sleeping or are we working? Usually, you will just end up feeling very sleepy.
That is exactly what happens to me. I start reading a book in bed and 10 minutes later, the book is on my face and I am dreaming.
Exactly. It is much better to study at a desk or a table. You should sit in a chair with your back straight. This tells your brain that it is time to work.
What about the library? Do you like studying in the library?
I love the library. It is very quiet, and when I see other people studying, it makes me want to study too. It is like a group energy.
I agree. Sometimes my house is too noisy. My brother is playing games or my mum is cooking and the television is on. The library is a peaceful place.
But some people don't like silence. Some people like to listen to music while they study. Do you like music when you work?
Sometimes. But if the music has words, I start singing along. Then I am not studying anymore. I am having a concert.
Me too. If you want to listen to music, it is better to listen to music without words. Maybe some classical music or some soft nature sounds. It helps some people focus, but for others, total silence is best.
I think I prefer total silence when I am trying to learn something difficult. If I am just organizing my notes, then music is okay.
That is a good balance. Now, Jade, let's talk about how to actually remember the information. Many students just read the book over and over again. Do you think that works?
Well, that is what I do. I read the page, then I read it again, and then I hope it stays in my head. Is there a better way?
Reading is a passive way of learning. It means you are just looking at information. To really learn, you need to be active.
Active? Like running? Should I run while I read?
Not exactly. Active learning means you do something with the information. For example, after you read a page, close the book and try to say what you read in your own words.
Oh, I see. Like explaining it to a friend?
Yes, that is one of the best ways to learn. If you can explain a topic to someone else, it means you really understand it. If you cannot explain it, you need to study it more.
That is a very good tip. Sometimes I talk to my cat. I explain English grammar to her. She doesn't understand, but it helps me.
That is perfect. Your cat is a very good student. Another way is to use flashcards. Do you know what flashcards are?
Are those the small pieces of paper with a question on one side and the answer on the other?
Yes, they are great for vocabulary or dates in history. You look at the question, try to remember the answer, and then flip the card to see if you were right.
I use an app on my phone for flashcards. Is that okay?
Yes, that is a great use of technology. Just make sure you don't go to social media after you finish your card.
I will try my best. John, what do you do if you find a topic that is very, very difficult? Sometimes I read a paragraph 5 times and I still don't understand it.
When that happens, I usually go to the internet. Sometimes a video can explain something much better than a book. There are so many teachers on YouTube who explain things simply.
That is true. Sometimes a picture or a drawing helps me more than words.
Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. You can ask your teacher or a classmate. Some students think asking questions makes them look stupid, but it is actually the opposite. Smart students ask many questions.
I used to be shy about asking questions in class, but now I realize that if I don't understand, probably 5 other students don't understand too.
Exactly. You are helping everyone when you ask. Now, Jade, let's talk about the body. Studying is not just about the brain. It is also about how you feel physically.
You mean food and sleep?
Yes. When I have an exam, I often forget to eat healthy food. I just eat fast food or candy because I am in a hurry.
I do that too. I drink so much coffee and eat lots of chocolate. I think it gives me energy.
It gives you energy for 10 minutes, and then you feel very tired. It is called a sugar crash. For your brain to work well, you need brain food.
What is brain food? Do I need to eat brains?
Haha, no! Brain food means things like nuts, fruit, fish, and lots of water. Water is very important. If you are dehydrated, your brain works slowly.
I notice that. When I don't drink enough water, I get a headache. And a headache makes studying impossible.
And what about sleep? Do you stay up all night before an exam?
I used to do that. I thought, if I stay up all night, I have 8 more hours to study. But then, during the exam, I was so tired I couldn't remember my own name.
That is a big mistake. Sleep is when your brain moves information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. If you don't sleep, the information doesn't stay in your head.
So pulling an all-nighter is a bad idea.
It is a very bad idea. It is much better to study for 6 hours and sleep for 8 hours than to study for 14 hours and not sleep at all.
I will remember that. My health is important for my grades.
Absolutely. Before we continue to the next part, where we talk about what to do on the day of the exam, let's take a quick second to remind our listeners.
If you are finding these tips helpful, please click the like button. It helps other students find this video. And don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Studio channel for more conversations like this.
And we have a question for you. What is your favorite study snack? Do you like fruit? Or are you like Jade and you prefer chocolate? Let us know in the comments. I personally love eating walnuts when I study.
Walnuts are good, but chocolate makes me happy. Anyway, John, let's talk about the day before the exam. This is usually when I am the most nervous. What should I do?
The day before the exam should be for light review. It is not the time to learn new things. If you try to learn something completely new the day before, you will just get confused.
So, I should just look at my notes and summarize everything?
Yes, review your flashcards. Look at the main headings in your book, and make sure you have everything ready. You should pack your bag the night before.
Oh, that is a good idea. I always lose my pen on the morning of the exam. I run around the house crying, "Where is my blue pen?"
Exactly. That creates unnecessary stress. Pack your pens, your pencils, your eraser, your ID card, and maybe a bottle of water. Do it all the night before, so you can be calm in the morning.
And what about the morning of the exam? Should I eat a big breakfast?
You should eat a breakfast that makes you feel good. Not too big, because a very full stomach can make you feel sleepy. Maybe some eggs or oatmeal, something that gives you energy for a long time.
I usually feel too nervous to eat. My stomach feels like it has butterflies inside.
Butterflies in your stomach is a great English expression, Jade. It is very natural to feel that way. If you cannot eat a big meal, try to eat a banana. It is easy on the stomach and gives you good energy.
Okay, a banana and some water. I can do that. Now, let's imagine I am sitting in the exam room. The teacher is giving me the paper. I feel my hands shaking. What should I do?
First, don't look at the paper immediately. Close your eyes for 5 seconds and take a deep breath. Tell yourself, I have prepared for this. I can do this.
That sounds very positive. Then, should I start writing immediately?
No, that is a common mistake. You should read the whole exam paper first. Read all the questions.
Why should I read everything first? Doesn't that waste time?
It actually saves time. When you read all the questions, your brain starts thinking about the answers in the background. Also, you can see which questions are easy and which are difficult.
So, should I start with the easy questions?
Yes! Start with the questions you know the answer to. This will give you confidence. If you start with a very difficult question and you can't answer it, you will start to panic.
That makes a lot of sense. If I finish the easy questions, I know I already have some points. Then I can spend the rest of the time on the hard ones.
Exactly. And watch the clock. You need to manage your time. If a question is worth only 1 point, don't spend 20 minutes on it.
I sometimes write too much for simple questions because I want to show the teacher I know a lot.
I understand that feeling, but in an exam, you have to be efficient. Answer what is asked and then move on. You can always come back and add more if you have time at the end.
What if I'm in the middle of the exam and I suddenly forget everything? My mind just goes blank.
If your mind goes blank, don't stare at the paper. Look away for a moment. Drink a little bit of water. Sometimes, if you move to the next question, the answer to the previous question will suddenly pop into your head.
That has happened to me before. I was writing about something else, and suddenly I remembered the word I was looking for.
Our brains are funny like that. They work best when we don't force them too hard.
John, what about multiple choice questions? You know, the ones where you have to choose A, B, C, or D. Do you have any tips for those?
Multiple choice questions can be tricky. My advice is to try to think of the answer before you look at the options.
Oh, really? Why?
Because if you look at the options first, they might confuse you. The people who write exams are very good at making distractors, wrong answers that look almost right.
So, I should cover the answers, read the question, think of the answer, and then see if my answer is one of the options.
Yes, if it is there, you are probably right. If you don't know the answer at all, you should use the process of elimination.
Elimination. That means crossing out the ones that are definitely wrong.
Exactly. Usually there are two options that are obviously wrong. If you cross them out, you have a 50% chance of getting it right, even if you are guessing.
That is a much better chance than 25%.
Definitely. Now, Jade, let's talk about writing exams. Many English learners have to write essays. That is very difficult because you have to think about the ideas and the grammar at the same time.
Yes, essay writing is the hardest part for me. I worry about making grammar mistakes, so I write very slowly.
My tip for essays is to make a quick outline before you start writing. Just 2 minutes to write down your main points.
An outline? Like a skeleton of the essay?
Yes, introduction, point 1, point 2, and conclusion. If you have a plan, you won't get lost in the middle of a sentence. And don't worry too much about perfect grammar in the first draft. Just get your ideas down. You can check the grammar at the end.
That is good advice. I always try to make every sentence perfect, and then I run out of time and I don't finish the essay.
It is better to have a finished essay with a few small mistakes than half an essay with no mistakes. Teachers want to see that you can finish your thoughts.
I will remember that. Finished is better than perfect.
That is a great motto for exams. Now, the exam is over. You give the paper to the teacher. You walk out of the room. What do you do?
I usually find my friends and we talk about all the answers. What did you get for question 5? I got B, but she got C. Then I start to feel very worried again.
Oh, Jade, please don't do that. Talking about the exam immediately after it finishes is one of the worst things you can do. It just causes more stress.
But I want to know if I was right.
It doesn't matter now. You have already given the paper. You cannot change the answers. Instead of worrying, you should celebrate. You worked hard and you finished. Go get an ice cream, or go for a walk, or watch a movie.
You are right. The work is done. I should let it go.
Exactly. Give yourself a reward. Preparing for an exam is a lot of work, and you deserve to be happy when it is over.
And what if I get the results and they are not good? What if I fail?
That is a scary thought, but it is not the end of the world. An exam is just a test of what you knew on one specific day. It does not define who you are.
So I should not be too sad?
You can be a little sad, but then you should look at the mistakes. Mistakes are just lessons. If you see where you went wrong, you can do better next time. Even the most successful people in the world have failed exams.
That is very encouraging, John. I feel much better about my English exam next week now.
I am glad to hear that. Let's do a short recap of everything we talked about today for our listeners.
Good idea. First, we talked about making a plan. Don't just say study, but break it into small, specific tasks.
Second, manage your environment. Put your phone in another room, sit at a desk, and use the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of rest.
Third, use active learning. Explain topics to your friends or your cat, and use flashcards instead of just reading the book again and again.
Fourth, take care of your body. Eat brain food like nuts and fruit. Drink plenty of water, and most importantly, get enough sleep. Do not stay up all night.
Fifth, on the day of the exam, stay calm. Read the whole paper first, start with the easy questions, and manage your time carefully.
And finally, after the exam, relax. Don't stress about the answers with your friends. Celebrate your hard work.
Wow, we covered a lot today. I hope this helps all of you who are preparing for exams. You are all very smart and capable, and we believe in you.
We really do. Thank you so much for spending this time with us at Daily English Studio channel. We hope you feel more confident now.
Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It really helps us grow.
And tell us in the comments, what is the hardest part about studying for you? Is it the phone? Is it the grammar? Or is it just getting started? We want to read your stories.
Yes, please share with us. We love reading your comments.
Good luck with your studies, everyone. You can do it.
See you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.